shameless.
United in the Europa League, Europa League.
Man United 2, Barcelona 2 here at the Spotify Camp Nou. And you know what? We put it on them. I am so proud of this team today. And it's more justification, it's more clarification that we're going in the right direction. This is a Barcelona team that you saw the preview show that I did with Stemmer Hunter. She said they're playing well in La Liga. They've only lost one game all season against Real Madrid. They're unbeaten in 2023. They've conceded the least goals, and they're 11 points clear in the league. But what else did we say? We said there's a reason why they're in the Europa League with us. And Ten Hag spoke about it in the pre-match press conference about the teams being a good measuring stick, and both teams are similar in terms of going through the transition. I think for large parts, we were the better team. I thought for large parts tonight, we controlled the game. I thought we were good in transition. I thought we gave a lot on the counter-attack as well. And we were organised. And like Xavi was saying, he was raving about us as well. You look at Pedri, you look at Gavi, you look at players like this, Frenkie de Jong, we know about him. Those guys couldn't get their game going. And that is testament to how well we did. In that first half, we should have been 2 or 3 up. I'd say 2 goals. Should have been 2 up. And overall, like Eric Ten Hag said in his post-match conference, we had the opportunity to score 4 goals tonight. And we should have took them. Was there some naivety from us? Yes. Well, are we perfect? No. We understand that. We know that we've got a lot of work to do. But to come to the Nou Camp and outplay Barcelona for large parts like we did and look like the home team, with their fans getting onto them, this place you would think would be a cauldron of noise. And it was when they scored and it was when they walked out. But other than that, in the bits in between, nothing from the Barcelona fans. Because I tell you what, they looked at this Manchester United side and thought, I tell you what, bloody hell, these are good. These are good. And for the first time in a long time, I'm looking at this football team. I'm looking at our team. And I'm like, we're going to be okay. We're going in the right direction. I love what Eric Ten Hag's doing with us. And I love the direction that we're heading in. To talk about some individuals, I said it in our player rating show, which you'll see soon. Luke Shaw, I just think is so comfortable, whether it's at left back, whether it's centre half. Lewandowski, okay, cool. He caused a couple of problems when we made some mistakes, but largely he was quiet. Luke Shaw was covering Malacia as well. He's a young kid. He's coming into a big stage, and he done well. I'll touch on that in a bit. But Luke Shaw, I felt, just was so calm, and he just reads the game so well. I thought he was good. Varane, we really needed his leadership, and you know what? Although he was the ghost to race the phantom, he was just calm and composed and didn't actually have that much to do, because I just think, again, Barcelona didn't really get at us. When we was hanging on a little bit near the end, 100%, it's backs against the walls, it's bodies on the line. I'll talk about the game management side of things. But Varane, I thought, again, was composed and good. Wan-Bissaka, couple of mistakes going forward, but defensively, again, pretty good. And Malacia, this is a game where he's had to come in and play left back in a big super game away from home, and he's managed to do that. And I thought he was very steady as well, especially because he picked up a booking against Rafinha. But I think Rafinha came off and was, well, I don't think I saw it, he was absolutely fuming, kicking things, throwing things, didn't want to come off. But he wasn't amazing. I know he gets the goal from a bit of fortune when we lose the ball, and he obviously whips in across that ends up going in between Varane's legs, a bit of a melee. But by and large, I don't think Rafinha was amazing. Midfield, I thought first half we were on them. Again, we should have scored more. Second half, I thought Fred was unbelievable. He was everywhere. First half, not so much, but second half, he was absolutely everywhere. And the assist he puts in for Rashi as well, with a perfectly timed weighted pass. That's something that we expect from Bruno. I know Bruno wasn't playing centrally today, but that's a pass Bruno would have been proud of. Nice pass. I know it was easy and it was the most obvious pass to play, but you got to get the weight of the pass right. You got to make sure that you execute that pass well, and he did do that. Interesting tactics from Ten Hag as well. Weghorst in the 10, we saw it in the second half against Leeds at Ellen Road. And it's a clear, deliberate tactic to when we have got the ball, you can kind of play it for 4-4-2. You can tell Weghorst to get forward and make a 2 up front. But when we haven't, the help that Weghorst was giving Casemiro and Fred was absolutely vital to disrupt Barcelona. He wasn't always going to win the ball back. He does need to work on winning headers for being such a big player. But his generic kind of positioning and his presence of being in them positions really helped us. That really helped us to kind of get a hold of that midfield and just be disruptive and stop Barcelona being able to play, because Barcelona, if they're going to play for that midfield with Kessie and Frenkie de Jong and Gavi, we're going to have big problems if we let them dictate the ball. And that just did not happen today. To the point where Weghorst as well, over there, he's got to score first half. He's got to score. Rashford, again, forced a good save from ter Stegen. So I'm reading off the chances here. You know, I think the only time we looked vulnerable was when we made mistakes. That's the most frustrating thing about today, is that the goals that we conceded were really, really avoidable goals. They weren't from, I think, Barcelona doing anything amazing. I think they were from us just kind of switching off in the moments. But with the chances that we made enough chances to leave here victorious. And that's the downside and the most frustrating thing. But what I will say as well is our mentality. Rashford, again, you know, to go 1-0 down, right, as a bit of a sucker punch that early in the second half, right, from a set piece as well. I think Fred kind of lost his man there as well in Alonso. And could David De Gea do better? Maybe. But to go 1-0 down in this place after a bit of a sucker punch where it's easy to feel sorry for yourself and come back in the way that we did and get 2-1 up as well, that shows guts, that shows courage, and that shows togetherness. And to come here and do that, we should be really proud. And that just shows how far we've come. And again, Rashford from the corner, he gets a short corner. I think does he go past Rafinha? I can't remember. Just goes past whoever it was like it weren't there and causes the melee where I think the own goal happens. But it comes from Rashford. He was absolutely unreal. And the runs he was making in behind, they were petrified of him. They thought, nah, we can't press too high. Rashford's going to stretch us. They just could not handle him, and we were just looking to get him in. I don't know how the ref didn't blow for a foul. Ten Hag was absolutely fuming, and rightly so. I don't think the referees were very good today as well. VAR didn't look at it because it wasn't a penalty, because I don't think it was in the box. But for the lino not to flag for, you know, I don't know if Jules Koundé was the last man, but for him to not even flag for a free kick, I think was disgraceful. But again, Rashford running through the channels and just creating havoc. So he was absolutely fantastic today. And we said it. Owen was saying it on one of the shows. Rashford, Nou Camp. When you score here as an away team, it goes awfully silent. You can't hear the Manchester United fans away to my left at the top. But Rashi just took it in. Little look up to the gods, you know what I mean? To say, I'm here, I'm playing. And he was absolutely brilliant today as well. So frustrating not to get the win, but that's a compliment to us, man. To come here and play like we did, to come here and put on that type of performance where we're leaving the Nou Camp saying, should have won. And we're leaving the Nou Camp saying, okay, I think Pedri's out, Gavi's out, Busquets is still touch and go. Dembele's still out currently, so they're going to be a bit depleted. You're looking at it, even if them players were playing, I'm confident at Old Trafford. Old Trafford under the lights, we jam it on them, I think we win. And why not? We've just proved that we can play them off the park at times. What I will say is, though, when we conceded that silly goal, I'll talk about Casemiro for a second, we kind of saw the good and bad of him in one game. He was absolutely excellent at times today. Dispossession players, using that kind of ring awareness to diffuse situations, you know, getting his foot in. Gave away a couple of fouls like he's always going to do. Got his yellow card like he's always going to do. But that leadership and that impact that we needed from him was actually there until that moment where he has a lapse of concentration. He gives the ball away and their goal comes from it. And then I have to admit, then it was, again, like my saying goes, you had to bite down on the gum shield and make sure we get out with a draw, because we were hanging on a little bit towards the end. You know, they hit the post. David De Gea had to make a couple saves. They were getting free kicks. And you just felt the pressure mounting. But again, testament to us to not wilt, to not wither, and to make sure we got out with a draw. And I think we're in a really strong position. I think Barcelona fans will be worried coming to Old Trafford. If we turn up, like we know what we're dealing with now, and it's a depleted Barcelona side as well, I don't see any reason why we can't win. My man of the match, I'm going to give it to Rashi. I've got to give it to Rashi, because I just think to come here and have that impact, running in behind, making Koundé scared, making Alonso scared, and I think it's Arroyo is how you say it, I don't know, but making him scared, scoring the goal that he did, and the second goal, he scores the first and he makes the second. He causes that own goal from the corner. Rashford, man of the match. Wow.